The next principle that we are going to discuss is credibility. This is the easiest of all the principles to talk about because your credibility comes from your lived experience. This is your story about your life, and you are the expert. So, how do we share our experiences so that they have the greatest impact? First, as I mentioned earlier, you provide details from your life. Sometimes these details may not be directly related to your core message, but they help the audience to know you and understand who you are. You may want to demonstrate how the details you provide affected your life. Remember the guy in the wheelchair who went skydiving? Well, imagine that he describes rolling out of the plane and into the open air. His heart is beating fast, he feels like he may puke, he's afraid, and he pulls the cord to release the parachute, but it doesn't work. He screams because the ground is getting closer, and then he remembers the emergency cord, and he yanks on that. And the parachute comes out, and he feels himself stop falling. It almost feels like he's bouncing. And then he floats gently to the ground. These details give his story credibility. After this experience, he may talk about how much more confidence he has now. He feels like he can do anything after that. Sometimes when people are trying to show that they have credibility, they use statistics. And statistics and numbers can be good, but in a story, they can also be boring. So, if you use statistics, be sure that you attach them to a story. For example, what if the skydiver only talked about the statistics? What if he said, I fell out of the plane for 1,000 feet at an average speed of 50 miles an hour with a top speed of 100 miles an hour before I deployed my parachute, 600 feet above the ground. I then fell at an average speed of 2 miles an hour, and so on and so on. That isn't nearly as interesting as the details about how he was feeling as he fell. But you could mix these statistics with the details of his jump and his feelings, and you would have a very strong story. So now you will watch a couple videos in which the people establish credibility by providing a lot of detail. When you are finished, please fill out the credibility worksheet and then come back to hear about emotion.
My name is Carmen Myers, and I live in Tempe, Arizona, and I've been married 19 years to my husband, Louis Myers, and I met him on a field trip to Tombstone, Arizona. And we have one cat named Missy, and she's 10 years old. And my husband is really good to me, and we get along really good. And we have respect for each other. We go to baseball games, and we go to movies and to football games. He's a sports fan. My husband's retired. He's been retired. He retired when he worked for ASU 26 years. And he just goes to the baseball games, football games.
My name is Pam Ashley, and I'm from Longview, Texas. I was, about 5 years ago, my dad had passed away, and my dad was my guardian. And every time I had to go somewhere, I had to call my guardian. If I wanted to go and spend money, I had to call my guardian. And when he passed, I decided to go and get guardianship. And when I went and I saw a lawyer about it and went to court, and the lawyer said, not the lawyer, but the judge, he said, asked me like, do I know my medications? I knew the medications. He said, he asked me, he said, do you know anything about money? And he held up a dollar bill, and I told him what it was. Held a $5 bill up. He showed several bills to me. And he said, who told you, whatever judge told you you need guardianship? You don't need a guardian. You need full guardianship. And he gave me full guardianship. I can buy my own clothes, I can go as I want. I can date when I want to. I can have a job. And I can go to these functions and learn more about self-advocacy and stuff.